From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Not going to come in and just immediately go and collect welfare.
President Trump announces new immigration policy based on merit. We show you what the community has to say.
Behind each service member is a spouse or a family.
Plus, how a new program is helping military families reach their goals.
And reporting an emergency might be a call away, but we tell you how a new system can make this even easier.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Devin Conley.
And I'm Felisa Cardenas. Thank you for joining us. President Donald Trump today threw his support behind a Senate bill that could cut legal immigration in half. The RAISE Act would limit green cards to immigrants with high-end jobs, skills, and an ability to speak English. A move supporters say would help low-wage American workers by reducing competition for jobs. Cronkite News reporter Alex Valdez was outside the White House this morning, where news of the president's announcement spread quickly and drew a swift and angry response.
I spoke to a group of protesters outside the White House this morning, and while they were there to rally their support for DACA protections, they had plenty to say about changes to legal immigration that were being proposed inside the White House.
Policies that they are promoting only hurts vulnerable communities.
To stay! Here to stay!
The policies he was talking about were those outlined in the Reforming American Immigration for Strong Employment Act. Trump says current U.S. policies gives too many green cards to low-wage immigrants who, he said, lower wages for workers here.
Among those hit the hardest in recent years have been immigrants and, very importantly, minority workers competing for jobs against brand new arrivals. And it has not been fair to our people, to our citizens, to our workers.
This land was made for you.
The so-called RAISE Act would address that problem by cutting legal immigration in half. It would achieve those reductions with a merit-based immigration system to give out green cards. Immigrants would have to have a skill, speak English, and be able to support themselves.
As a candidate, I campaigned on creating a merit-based immigration system that protects U.S. workers and taxpayers, and that is why we are here today, merit-based.
Shame on this president. Shame.
The Reverend Noel Anderson, who has advocated immigration reform in Tucson and other cities, said the country needs more understanding and fewer barriers.
But my experience in Arizona is actually very similar to my experience throughout the country traveling around, is that those communities that have built relationships with immigrants in their midst, they start to understand what they go through.
Reaction also came from Capitol Hill today, where Arizona Senator Jeff Flake said that cutting legal immigration by half would be a big blow to our economy. He also says he does not believe the bill will gain much support on the Hill. Live in Washington, I'm Alex Valdez, Cronkite News.
Military spouses who are in school often struggle when their families are shipped to a new post. Cronkite News reporter Kevin Cusack tells us about a scholarship and career fund that will help them reach their goals.
Spouses were moving every couple of years, and so their educations were being delayed. They were losing credits when they moved. They weren't picking portable careers.
The National Military Family Association, known as NMFA, has a scholarship and career fund to help spouses of military personnel work towards their career. 10 spouses from Arizona were chosen from over 9,000 applicants worldwide. One of those recipients was Nikayla Chan, an Air Force spouse.
It was pretty exciting. I actually called my husband, Jeff. I called him right away. And I was like, hey, I got this scholarship. Because it really meant a lot to us, because it meant that I could take some prerequisite courses to fulfill my application for physician assistant school.
Burke says their program is unique in that it offers more than just a bachelor's degree.
We offer any type of professional fees or licensure support. And then the last reason that we just started this year, which is unique, is that we now offer funding for spouse-owned businesses. So if someone's getting a business degree or starting their own business, we're now offering funding for those spouses as well.
Kayla plans to use her degree to become part of a neurosurgery team.
Not only was it one step closer to my goal, but it also was a big relief for us.
In Tucson, Kevin Cusack, Cronkite News.
According to Kathleen Burke, the program was able to help more than 600 spouses with funding. The goal is to help at least 600 every year. The next scholarship application deadline runs from October 1st through January 15th.
A CAD or computer aid dispatch system is often referred to as a virtual lifeline between law enforcement, emergency responders, and the public. But right now, the dispatch system used by DPS in Arizona is out of date. Cronkite News reporter Patricio Espinoza has learned a new system is soon coming online. Patricio?
Thank you. That's right. A quick response to 911 or emergency calls could save a life. About 500,000 calls are handled every year by DPS dispatchers in Arizona. And now a new computerized system handling such emergency calls is expected to expedite the process.
DPS 911.
Hundreds of emergency calls come in daily, and the ability to quickly dispatch help is crucial. But right now, DPS says their current dispatch system is just getting in the way.
271.
Our current CAD system, which is computer-aided dispatch, it's about a dozen years old, and it's kind of antiquated. We're having trouble bringing some new systems in to integrate with it or interface.
And Kloboski says that the software used now doesn't communicate and share information well with other agencies in the state.
We're getting this one out to dispatch as well.
According to DPS, an average of 30,000 collisions take place each year on Arizona highways, all requiring emergency response. So a new CAD system is coming online, and first responders, as well as the public, are expected to benefit.
We'll be able to log troopers on and off. We'll be able to have real-time updates for them. We'll be able to search this CAD system, and we'll be able to associate it with any other reporting that they'll need.
And what is your name?
Furthermore, the new system offers the ability to locate the closest trooper to an emergency situation, all of it in real time.
Troopers will be seen on a mapping system, AVL, Automatic Vehicle Locator. So in order to get the best response time, we'll be able to have real time of where the troopers are and how quick they can respond to the caller.
In 2015, according to the DPS annual report, more than 688,000 calls for service were dispatched. The new CAD system is set to be installed in the next 90 days. Patricio Espinoza, Cronkite News.
A state police helicopter rescues just another set of hikers trapped in Tonke Verde Falls. Pima County officials say 2 adults and a 5-year-old were rescued last night. The flash flood happened in Reddington Pass near Tucson. In the last month, a total of 52 people were rescued from flash floods. In June, we covered Lake Mead and how the water levels were continuing to decrease.
But efforts to conserve may not be enough. Coming up on Cronkite News, what Arizona officials are doing to keep our water running.
Plus, we meet with some parents in the valley who are getting a head start on water safety for their kids.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true. Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. About now.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe it?
An Arizona water official was at a Senate hearing in Washington today, and Cronkite News reporter Emma Lockhart tells us how lawmakers are looking to address drought in Arizona.
Arizona officials say that although the state is a leader in water conservation, there is still progress to be made to combat the nearly 20-year-old drought. It's an issue that Arizonans are used to. The state has been under an emergency drought declaration, but at a Senate meeting today, water officials and lawmakers came together to find solutions.
Looking at more water conservation, more reuse of reclaimed water, recycling, and then even getting to the point of augmenting our water supplies, potentially through desalination and other methods in Arizona.
Thomas Bushotsky spoke to a panel that included Senator Jeff Flake, who understands the demand for water.
We live in an age, as we know, that you expect when you turn on the tap that there's water there, that the water will always be there, which means that supply certainty is critical.
Finding supply certainly is critical. If Arizona's Lake Mead levels continue to decline, it could trigger a reduction in Arizona's share of water from the Colorado River.
For us to lose 11% of our water supply, and the Colorado supplies 40% of our total supply, so that's a huge issue.
Bushotsky says that working with surrounding states is key to making sure this doesn't happen. California, Arizona, and Nevada are currently working together on a drought contingency plan. Another concern at the hearing was President Donald Trump's proposed budget cuts. Bushotsky says that it could impact Arizona's efforts to manage the drought, forcing them to do more with less. Reporting outside the Capitol, Emma Lockhart, Cronkite News.
Arizona is ranked #2 in the nation for child drowning, and there were many ways to prevent this tragedy. Our Cronkite News reporter Emily Bloom tells us how a new program offers kids another line of defense.
These infant swim lessons have been the root of a bit of controversy. Some feel it gives parents a false sense of security, while others worry about the beginning phases, which often include a few shed tears. But I spoke to one Valley mom, and as she tells us, her daughter went through a tremendous transformation in the water in the matter of just a few short weeks.
Is that a big girl swim?
18-month-old Carmen is keeping cool this summer.
Nice. Very nice.
But if you look closely, you'll see she's swimming in her PJs.
She graduates in 3 days.
That's because her mom, Kelsey Dickey, has enrolled her in ISR self-rescue swimming lessons.
We have a pool, and it's just something we always felt nervous about. We have a pool fence, but there's always that chance.
Certified ISR instructor Lauren Sipp says that 83% of children who drown are fully clothed, so their students are taught survival skills in both summer and winter clothing too.
I think ISR is absolutely critical because drowning is the leading cause of death in children under 4.
Sipp was inspired after watching her own kids go through the program.
If I want to make a difference, teaching ISR is one of the best ways to do it.
And her own students have experienced the benefits firsthand.
She fell in the water. She was grilling. She had her back turned for literally a couple of minutes. And they found her in the pool. She was floating face up, and she was just like, "Hey, Mom, where have you been?"
While the first few lessons weren't exactly easy,
watching her struggle at first was definitely hard.
Dickey knows it's worth it.
I feel like my job is to prepare her for life, and sometimes that means overcoming challenges and figuring things out even though they're hard at first.
Did you have fun?
Good job.
Jackson,
Yeah. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Yes.
And apparently the children too also learned to love it. Dickey's only regret?
We thought about doing it last summer and we decided not to, and I really regret not doing it sooner.
While ISR does begin lessons as early as 6 months, the American Academy of Pediatrics doesn't recommend swim lessons under the age of 1. And they say the lessons aren't a substitute for parental supervision.
Now knowing that we have that extra time if something does happen, that she can save herself, it means the world to me.
The ISR lessons typically last 6 weeks with 10-minute lessons 5 times per week. For more information, you can head to infantswim.com. In the Broadcast Center, Emily Bloom for Cronkite News.
And if you're planning to go swimming anytime soon or head out for any outdoor activities, our weather reporter Blakely McHugh can help you plan ahead.
That's right, Felisa. We're already feeling the effects of another small storm rolling through Arizona, but will that affect your weekend? Find out after the break.
Go. Let's tell you how local high schools are working to protect athletes on the field.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you.
If you spent time outdoors today, you probably noticed the light humidity and the light rain. Our weather reporter, Blakely McHugh, is in the Weather Center to tell us if this will continue tonight and throughout the weekend.
That's right. The rain cooled down temperatures just enough that it was actually enjoyable to take a walk around downtown Phoenix today. That high was sitting right around 102 degrees, and the humidity level is at 38%. Now let me show you why that humidity level is higher than what we're used to at this time. There's a storm that's coming up from southern Arizona, and you can see that it's hitting the Phoenix area, but it's just hitting it a little bit, which caused that light rainfall today. This cloud coverage is also holding in the moisture, causing that humidity level to be more than we're used to. Usually we're used to that dry weather in Arizona, but let's look at the temperatures across the valley. At 8 p.m. it'll be 91 in Buckeye, 88 in Casa Grande, and 92 in Scottsdale. Now let's look at the temperatures across the state right now. It's 106 in Lake Havasu, 82 in Tucson, and a cool 73 in the Grand Canyon. Now there's something else that I want to show you. Right now we're in a air quality alert in the valley area, and that's because there's wildfires in the region. Along with that, cloud coverage is not allowing a lot of movement of air, but the good news is that'll be over around 7 p.m. on Friday. Now let's look at what's coming up for the rest of your week. The percentage for Thursday is going to be 20% for rain, and that's going to go lower as the week goes on. And starting Monday, it's going to be a nice sunny day to start off your week. For Cronkite Weather, I'm Blakely McHugh.
Back to school is just around the corner, and high temperatures can be a real challenge, especially for athletes who play outdoors.
But Cronkite News reporter Sarah Haddis found out that heat isn't the only health concerns for athletes and coaches. Sarah?
That's right. According to National Center for Catastrophic Sport Injury Research, 26 high school and middle school football players died in the last 2 years. These numbers show the need for proper education on safety in football.
It's 110 degrees at 4 o'clock on a summer afternoon as Tempe McClintock High School's football team prepares for the upcoming season. Head coach Corbin Smith says the heat is a part of the game in Arizona, but it is critical for coaches to understand the danger that comes with it.
Coaches need to be aware. They need to be educated. They need to educate their kids. They need to educate their parents. And, coaches, our responsibility is to keep the kids safe.
Part of that education is coming through Head, Heart, and Heat, a national program that is being pushed locally by the Arizona Athletic Trainers Association.
Set, go.
The AIA and the Barrow Neurological Institute are working together to teach administration, coaches, and athletic trainers the best practices at preventing and managing the 3 leading causes of death in athletes, which according to Barrow are concussions, cardiac arrest, and heat illness.
The education to both parents, coaches, and of course the work of athletic trainers has been key in reducing or eliminating that risk with heat illness.
Even the toughest kids, there will be some physical sign of pain, and you just need to check on them. You know, as far as the concussions and being aware of that, you can look into a kid's eye and know. And if there's any doubt, it's our responsibility to get them over to the trainer.
Dr. Sharaway says the team trainer plays a crucial role in helping to prevent these injuries.
I think they're a physician extender, and they help support us and help protect the student athletes, and working well with the coaches to make sure that the student athletes are as healthy as possible.
The program was initiated by the National Federation of State High School Associations with hopes of continuing to beat the heat and limit injuries. Sarah Haddis, Cronkite News.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 1 out of 5 children is obese, and that number has tripled since the 1970s.
Dietitians say to fix this problem, education is key. Coming up in Cronkite News, a special report. We take an in-depth look at student athletes and their nutrition.
Fascinating. You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so beloved.
Can't you see? Little girl got a hold on me like wow. Baby, I'm howling for you.
It's literally one for the history books.
Enjoy.
Cronkite News has spent the last 3 months diving into the challenges young athletes face, including health, training, and bullying.
Tonight, in a special report, we talk nutrition. Cronkite News reporter Annika Walters spoke with active children and dietitians to find out the best foods to fuel their athletic fire.
In the average American diet, 60% of the daily calorie intake comes from highly processed foods, according to a 2016 American Heart Health study. In Arizona, 19% of children between ages 10 and 17 are obese. Registered dietitian Debbie Richardson said proper nutrition is a learning curve.
Starting that education piece with kids very early and having that as part of the school curriculum. It seems like a no-brainer.
Arizona State hosts a nutritional education camp in the summer called Camp Crave. The day camp teaches children the value of preparing healthy foods through hands-on experiences and cooking demonstrations.
All of our students that have come through, all the kids for our camp have been very receptive to the fact. They just need someone to actually show them this is what you need to do. This is just the basic parts of nutrition.
Although each person may have a different idea of what a nutritious meal is, Richardson said it's important not to demonize any foods to children.
It's really not saying no, but it's how much and how often.
Among the foods often looked down upon are fast food. In Scottsdale, the Desert Elite Girls Soccer Team held a fundraiser in early July at a Whataburger. 20% of sales during the fundraiser went toward the team's expenses.
Not really fun as a kid to be so strict on like a healthy food diet that you can't have like a milkshake every once in a while or some fries. So like my mom and dad helped me keep a good balance.
You have to make educational decisions on what it is that you want to eat. So at Whataburger, I know that they have healthy choices, even like you can order French fries, but if you, instead of getting the French fries, you can exchange them for apple slices. It's about being smart and taking care of your body regardless of where you're at.
A 2015 study done by the Pew Research Center found that 80% of parents feel rushed at least some of the time. This can lead to quick fixes such as fast food items or supplements that can pack a whole day's worth of nutrition into a single drink. Kiss the grapes goodbye.
For me as a parent, I feel like I want my kids' bodies to be fueled with great food, which would be that whole food, diet. That's pretty much impossible with my lifestyle.
So parents like 1996 Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden at Gold Medal Gymnastics turned to products such as Juice Plus that aim to provide a day's worth of nutrition in a gummy or a milkshake. But former Arizona Cardinal and leader of Safe Football Camp Scott Peters said he prefers the real thing.
Step, look, I just do this. So I'm not a big supplement user. I believe in like eating really nutritious foods, non-GMO foods, non-chemical, anything chemically, none of the preservatives, like eating really whole foods. And it's hard to do in this day and age because it's not convenient, but you're gonna get more gas. The way I'll tell these guys, like you're a high performance vehicle. You don't put lousy gasoline in your car.
According to a study done by the Canadian Pediatric Society, lack of proper nutrition may result in stifled growth, delayed puberty, menstrual dysfunction, and increased chances of fatigue. In Phoenix, Annika Walters, Cronkite News.
That story was part of a special project called Youth Sports Issues in Progress. We'll have continuing coverage at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on the Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, new money to help fight homelessness in Maricopa County. And 60 local businesses show support for public accommodations for the LGBT community. That's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. On the next NewsHour, we kick off a special series on the growing problem of antibiotic resistance and the efforts to find new drugs. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.